Hello, you're welcome back. I hope you used the break to try your hands on the problem. Well, if you didn't, never mind. We have a lot more problems to attack tonight. Well, if you are tuning in now, you've missed a bit. We have discussed what word problems are and how to attack them. I keep using the word attack because they've been a case for a while. Well, we have said, picture the question, visualize it in your mind's eye, try to see it in your mind's eye. Then, gather all the relevant information. When you have done so, and you look carefully at the information you have gathered, there will be an equation or two that puts them together. If you find that equation, and you should, then you are ready to solve it. When you have solved it, based on the advice of the consultants as read by Dr. Kaufman from the National Science and Maths Quiz, do the common sense thing. What is that? Plug your answers back into the question and check it. That would be a great one. Before we went on the break, we were solving a problem. The first part is on your screen, where we were able to illustrate the given information in a diagram. A circle L and M, with a tangent xy at the point M, a straight line xln, making an angle at x 34 degrees, and angle nmy 65 degrees. There was a second part of the problem. The second part of the problem said we should find the angle xmlx, mlx, and to find the angle lnm. If you have tried it and you want to give me an answer, I'll be very excited to hear from you. Our numbers are 0302 211 698 and 0302 211 699. Please, this program is interactive and you can find it also on Facebook, currently streaming live on Facebook at Joy Learning TV, also on Twitter. You can find us on Joy Learning TV on the YouTube channels, and you can subscribe so that you get updates as soon as we come up on air. Instagram, find us at Joy_Learning TV. Alright, so if you have found the answer to any of the last two problems, I'll be happy to have it. While I wait for your call, let's look at what it looks like. So we have our problem. We have our diagram, which is always an advantage. It's a bit difficult holding a thought in your mind without writing it down. When you write it down as we have done, then solving it becomes easier. So let's go on to solving the problem. So, Sadiq, good evening. You're welcome.
Good evening.
Sadiq, where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Tamale.
Sadiq, you may need to raise your voice. I cannot hear you well.
I said my name is Sadiq.
Unfortunately, I still cannot hear Sadiq. Sadiq, do you mind raising your voice a bit?
Tamale.
Oh no. I hear you, but very faintly, Sadiq.
Okay. The answer is... I can't hear you, please.
Sadiq, please do not listen to me from your set. Move away from your set and just, if you are watching by television, move away from your set and speak to me. You would hear me.
Okay.
Okay, now I can hear you. So yes, you are giving me an answer, Sadiq.
Yes, please.
Yes, what answer were you giving me, Sadiq?
The question on the...
Yes, so there are two questions. So which of the answers are you providing?
The angle... Please show it on the lesson, I will see.
Yes, which of the angles are you giving me? Oh no, I lost Sadiq. Redeemer, good evening. Good evening, Redeemer.
Good evening.
Yes, Redeemer, it would be nice to raise your voice and move away from your set if you are by it.
Okay.
All right, Redeemer, where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Akachi in the Buta region.
Fantastic, Redeemer. Redeemer, how are you watching this show? Are you watching via television or Facebook or by what means?
Okay, I'm watching it from on the TV. On the TV.
Okay, on the television. Great. Yeah. So tell me, from Akachi, right?
Yes, please.
What is the name of your school?
Anoga Senior High School.
Anoga Senior High School. Great. So tell me, which answer do you want to give to me?
Okay, I want to give you the answer for the L.
You mean angle MLX?
Yes, please.
Yes. So what is the answer?
Okay, it was 56 degrees.
Say again.
56 degrees.
How did you arrive at that?
Okay, please. I make a straight line through like I don't know how to say it.
Oh no, I wish you knew how to say it. It would have helped me. Okay, so Redeemer.
Yeah.
You listen to me say it so that next time you'll be able to say it. Is that okay?
Okay.
Great, thanks for calling. So now, this is what we have. We have that angle in red at the corner there. That is the angle we are looking for. So let's go. And then we have another angle in green at the top there. We're looking for that angle as well. So how do we proceed? We know that angle NMY is 65 degrees. It has to be equal to angle NLM. Why? Well, because by the laws of circle theorem, the angles subtended by a chord and a tangent in opposite segments must be equal if the same chord subtended the angles. So, those two angles have to be equal. Well, if that is true, Benedicta, good evening.
Good evening, sir.
Yes, Benedicta, where are you calling us from?
I'm calling from Kumasi.
From Kumasi. What is the name of your school, Benedicta?
Kumasi Wesley Girls.
Kumasi Wesley Girls, you're welcome to the show. How are you viewing the show? By television or by what means?
Television.
Oh, great. So, Benedicta, you want to tell me something? I am all ears.
Angle MLX.
Angle?
MLX.
Yes. What do you have for that?
I had 56.
56 or 66?
66.
Okay, 66. So, Benedicta, tell me, how did you arrive at that?
I was taught in school that a tangent to a circle.
Yes.
Between the angle between a tangent to a circle of a diameter is 90 degrees.
Benedicta, not exactly so. Benedicta, what will give you a 90 degrees is the diameter making an angle on the circumference. Benedicta, are you still there? All right. So Benedicta mixed something up there. What makes a 90 degrees is a diameter, not necessarily a tangent. Not necessarily. It might, but it's not compulsorily so. For a diameter, it would always be a 90 degrees. So, if those two angles, NMY and NLM, are equal by the rules of circle theorem, then the implication is that angle NLM must be 65 degrees. And that is just straightforward. Good evening, Ramadan.
Good evening, sir.
You are welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Please, where are you calling us from?
I'm calling from Tamale.
Tamale. Are you in school? I mean, are you in a senior high school?
Yes, please.
What is the name of your school?
Ghana Senior High School.
Okay, I'm not sure I got that. I want to get it. Can you take it a bit slower?
Ghana Senior High School.
Oh, Ghana Senior High School, Tamale. So, greetings to everybody there. So, tell me, how are you watching this show? By television or by Facebook? How?
Television.
Oh, great, great. So, yes, you want to say something to me, Ramadan?
Yes, please.
Yes, I'm all ears.
The angle NLM.
Yes.
Please. The answer is 46.
46.
Yes, please.
Why so?
46 degrees.
Why is angle MLX 46 degrees? Tell me why.
Why?
Yes. Why is it 46 degrees?
I subtracted the 65 from the 34 degrees.
Oh, okay. So, Ramadan, you would not get this wrong again after today. Why did you do that subtraction? Okay, I lost Ramadan. Okay, for all the other viewers who think like Ramadan, please, we do not just subtract or add things in math. There must be a rule you are working with. So for this particular problem, there will be no particular basis to subtract 34 from 65. You must apply the rules. The rule is that there is a tangent, xy. There are a number of chords, but the chord of interest here is NM. NM makes an angle 65 degrees with a tangent xy in one segment of the circle. So the same chord NM must make an equal angle at L, NLM. So both of them have to be 65. And if it is a 65, there are two angles that meet at the point L. So the other angle has to be 180 minus 65, which is 115. There is an angle at the point L. They meet. The angles meet at that point on the straight line. Recall, the question said a straight line, and it was very, very specific. Just a small note here. In mathematics, we do not use words we don't mean. When we use the word, we mean it. So it was not just a line, it was clearly stated a straight line, because there is a property for angles that meet at a point on a straight line. The words matter, they count. And remember, we are dealing with word problems. So comprehension. Take your time. Samuel, good evening, you're welcome. Oh, I lost Samuel. Sorry, Samuel. Please call again. So the angle at MLX is 115 degrees, because 65 degrees will be on the other side of it, and both angles must sum up to 180, because angles that meet at a point on a straight line sum up to 180 degrees. Next, we have to solve for angle LNM. And we know that that angle must be equal to angle XML. Why? Because the chord ML makes an angle with a tangent XY. There is a chord, also in purple, a shorter one than NM. It makes a chord, it's a chord. It makes an angle with the tangent at M. So it's almost on the opposite side of 65. Now, because of that, we can find that angle, and if we find that angle, since the chord LM makes an angle at N at the top, the same chord will make an angle in the opposite segment. Now, let me pause here. There are so many lines. Now, I said in visualizing, you will have to disintegrate your drawing. In other words, focus on only the path you need. Do I have Israel on the line?
Yes, please, it's Joshua.
Oh, Joshua, you're back. Is that the same Joshua?
Yes, please.
Joshua, you're welcome.
Yes, please.
So, Joshua, talk to me.
Sir, please, the angle for angle LNM,
yes,
is equal to 31 degrees.
How did you find that out, Joshua?
Okay, so you take triangle XMN.
Yes.
After that, you find the angle at M. So when you find it, it will be they sum up to 180.
Great.
So, the angle at M, it will be 180 minus 65, which will be 115 degrees.
Okay.
Okay. So after that, you found two angles for triangle XMN, which
all right,
is 34 degrees and 115 degrees.
Fantastic.
So the angle at angle LNM.
LNM, okay.
Yes, sir. This will also be the same angle as angle XNM because the triangle LMN is
Yes.
inside XMN. So they will have the same angle.
I did not get that last statement. Did you say the triangle LMX is the same?
No, sir. I said the triangle LMN
Yes.
is found within triangle XMN.
Yes.
Yes. So after that, they will have the same angle at N.
Okay.
Okay. So after that, you add. So 34 degrees plus 115 degrees will give you 149 degrees.
Fantastic.
And when you subtract it from 180 degrees, you will get 31 degrees.
Great. Thank you very much, Joshua. So for viewers who did not quite follow, you remember we had 115 as the angle somewhere here. And since that is 115, the angle here has to be 65. No, we had 115 here, sorry. We had 65 here rather. Zulaya, good evening.
Good evening, sir.
Oh, your voice is down and low. I need to hear you.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening, Zulaya. Welcome to the show. Where are you calling us from?
I'm calling from Northern Region.
Nalarugu. You're
Northern-
welcome. How are you watching this show?
Oh, well,
Okay, are you watching via television or by Facebook?
television.
Are you watching by television?
Yes, sir.
All right. So you wanted to say something to us. I'm all ears.
Yeah, I want to find this L, angle L.
Okay. What is it?
This I want to see it on the television.
You want to see it?
Yes, on the television.
Okay. So you want to see how we got that angle at L?
No, I wanted to find it.
Okay.
Angle NLM.
Yes.
That-
Okay. So you want to see how we solved it?
No, I wanted to solve it.
Okay. So what happened?
So you take 30.
Okay. If you're ready to solve it, go ahead. I'm with you.
You take 34
Yes.
plus the angle we are looking for.
Okay.
Equate it to 180.
You equate it to 180.
Yes, sir.
Why would you do that?
Because angle on the straight line.
Okay. So, Zulia,
Sir,
what is the name of your school?
Zebula Senior High.
Say again.
Zebula Senior High.
Zebula Senior High. So, Zulia, I want to give you an advice. Angles that meet, angles on a straight line is not an exact definition. It is angles that meet at a point on a straight line. So if the two angles or more angles do not meet at a point, you can't talk 180 about them. Look at the angle on the screen, the angle L. Have you noticed that? The
Yes, sir.
point L. Have you noticed that?
Yes, sir.
Okay, angles meet there. There are two angles that meet there. Only those two angles will give us 180 degrees. Angle 34 and any other angle will not necessarily give us 180 degrees.
Okay.
The angles have to meet at a point. Are you okay?
Yes, sir.
Good. So, like Joshua told us, we have the angle MLX as 115 degrees, angle LXM 34. So we needed one more angle, the angle here. That angle has to be 180 degrees minus all the other ones that are known. So 180 minus 34 minus 115. That gives us 31 degrees. And if that angle is 31 degrees, automatically the angle at N would also be 31 degrees. So our first word problem, part A and B are done. Razak, good evening, you're welcome.
Razana,
Oh, Razana, you're welcome.
please, I wanted to solve for angle MLN.
Okay, unfortunately, I have solved it for you, but do you agree with the answer?
My answer is 65.
55.
65.
65. Okay.
Yes.
For NLM, right?
Yes, for
Yes.
angle MLN.
Yes. MLN.
N.
Okay, yeah,
Yes.
you're right.
Because
You're right.
per-
That's 65.
Okay.
What principle did you use?
I use what my teacher taught me.
Okay.
The angle sustained at the circumference of a circle. Like you trace it to the other chord. So I started from angle MN and I subtended it to the last chord.
You are right. And say thanks to your teacher for me. He has done a great job for you.
Yes, Ghana Senior High.
Ghana Senior High School. Thumbs up to you. All right.
Yeah.
We have another question coming. We have solved our first word problem. Let's try some more. So, this is question 2 of June 2013. June 2013. The question says, the sum of the ages of 2 boys is 38 years. The sum of the ages of 2 boys is 38 years. 4 years ago, the age of the older brother was the square of the younger brother's age. Find their ages. The sum of the ages of 2 brothers is 38 years. 4 years ago, the age of the older brother was the square of the younger brother's age. Find their ages. All right. The chief examiner said something about this question. This was his observation. He says, most of the candidates were able to write down the first equation. In other words, there were other equations. However, most of them could not write the second. And I'll be pleased to see the first and the second, or hear from you the first and the second equations. I'll be pleased to hear that from you. The sum of the ages of 2 brothers is 38 years. Remember our terms and terminologies and their meanings. Remember we talked about a variable being an unknown quantity, a changing quantity, or a changeable quantity. We talked about a constant term being a term with a fixed value, known and fixed. Remember we talked about past, present, and future tenses. Is, was, ago, in so and so time. Now you're going to have to employ all of that in solving this question, which was way back 8 years ago, June 2013. Question number 2, compulsory. All right, let's start to solve the problem so that the chief examiner never needs to write this about us. Okay, the solution. We have to declare variables. We don't know the age of the older brother. We were not told. It's an unknown. So the question is, if the sum of the ages is 38, what are their ages? It could be anything. 1820, 236, 1028, 1127. They will all add up to 38. So which of them? We don't know. And when we don't know in maths, you don't throw your hands in the air and say, oh no, this maths again. No. We like the fun. If you ever play hide and seek, you know that the beautiful part of hide and seek is being found. So we like to find things. So how old is the older brother? We don't know. We'll give it a name. I have chosen not to use X because it's becoming over popular. All right, I have a caller on the line. Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening, Kezia. You're welcome.
God bless you.
Good evening, Kezia. You're welcome to the show.
Yeah.
Yes, Kezia, you want to say something to us?
Yeah. Please, first equation.
Yes.
Let S be the age of the older brother.
Fine.
Then Y be the age of the younger brother.
Okay.
So the sum of the 2 ages is S plus Y equals 38. That's
Okay.
the first.
Kezia, you are right on that. By the way, Kezia, where are you calling from?
Brekum.
Brekum. What is the name of your school? Are you in school?
No, KNUS.
Oh, you're in KNUST.
Please, yes.
Senior high school.
Please, yes.
Oh, great. How are you watching this show?
Television set.
Okay, by the television set. Kezia, you are right on that. You chose X and Y as the ages of the older brother and younger brother respectively, not so?
Yes.
Good. Did you attempt the second equation?
I'm yet to do that.
Okay, try it. I'll be glad if you get it.
Okay.
All right. Thanks, Kezia, for calling. Kezia used X and Y. I'll be using P and Q. I just want to be different. So, the age of the older brother, P, the age of the younger brother, Q. So, like Kezia, I also get P plus Q. She had X plus Y. I have P plus Q equals 38. Equation number 1. Yes, I have a caller on the line. Who do I have?
Please, I'm called Razana.
Razana, good evening.
Good evening.
Have you already called?
Yeah, I'm from Wale Wale. I'm attending Ghana Senior High.
Okay. How are you watching this show?
Yeah, on television set.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
So talk to me. You want to say something to us?
The first equation, let the older age be. So I had the equation is X plus Y equals to 38.
You are right, Rosanna.
Yeah.
So are you trying another equation? Is there another equation, by the way?
Yeah, I'm trying the second equation.
You are trying it. Go ahead, try it.
Okay.
Try it. When you get it, please give us a call. So I will pause so that I get a second equation. That's the fun part. So that we tell the WAEC chief examiner we have learned and we're not going to get it wrong anymore. All right. So we don't know the ages. And when they're unknown, you don't throw your hands in the air. Because they are not known, represented by a variable, you are permitted. Choose any variable of your liking. Popular ones, X, Y, Z. I have chosen P and Q. You could have chosen any other thing. But please choose alphabets that are easy to manage. If you pick I or O, it may look like a 0. I may look like a 1. So try to avoid those ones that will look confusing. But you could pick anything really, so long as you define it. And you must define it. You must declare it from the beginning. Do not simply write X plus Y equals to 38, because a big question will be asked of you. What is X and what is Y? Yes, I have a caller on the line. Hello.
Yes.
Hello, good evening. Okay, I cannot hear you.
Good evening.
Good evening. Turn down the volume on your set, whatever means by which you are listening and watching. And if you could move away and just listen via your phone. Yes, good evening. You're welcome to the show.
The second equation.
What's your name again?
If the first equation, let X represent the older boy and Y represent the younger boy.
Yes.
Then the first equation will be X plus Y equals to 38.
All right. So again, your voice is low. Raise your voice. Move away from your set so that we can talk. I don't know your name. What's your name?
Hello? Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. What's your name?
My name is
Farouk.
Farouk.
Yes, Farouk. So Farouk, where are you calling us from?
Kumasi.
From Kumasi. Farouk, what is the name of your school?
Can you?
Farouk, I can barely hear you. Please raise your voice.
Hello?
Yes. From KNUST Senior High School, right?
Yes.
Okay. So Farouk, you want to proceed from there. I'm listening. You have X plus Y equals 38 as your first equation. What is your other equation or equations?
It will be X minus 4 in bracket.
Okay.
Equal to Y minus 4.
Okay.
In another bracket, all squared.
Why did you do that?
This is because from the question it is said that 4 years ago, then that means that to know the age at 4 years ago, you take the younger age, the elder age minus 4.
Okay.
The square of the younger age, that will be Y minus 4.
So, for example, if you are 16 years now, 4 years ago, you will be what?
It will be 60 minus 4.
60 minus 4. And if you had a younger brother who is 7 years old now, 4 years ago, he will be how old?
It will be 7 minus 4.
7 minus 4. And the question says that 4 years ago, your age was the square of his age, not so?
Yes, please.
So you are very right on that, Farouk. Thank you very much for the second equation. So viewers, that is where the chief examiner had a problem. Most people were unable, most candidates were unable to get this relationship. I suspect that some were able to have, if they use x as the age of the older brother, they had x minus 4. But then they equated it to say y squared, which was an error because as the older brother's age was reduced by 4 years because 4 years ago he was 4 years younger, the younger brother was also 4 years younger. So both of them were 4 years younger 4 years ago. So we have it there. The older brother's age 4 years ago, remember, ago is past. So subtraction. Do you remember our table? Ago, past. So P minus 4. And the younger brother's age 4 years ago, for my case, I use Q minus 4. And the question's problem statement tells us that the age of the brother 4 years ago is the square of Aisha.
Sir.
Good evening.
Good evening, sir.
All right. Aisha, speak up, mute the volume on your set and talk to me.
Okay.
All right. So Aisha, what do you want to say?
If I want to answer the question.
All right. Go ahead. Please do.
Okay. If X represents the age of the younger brother and Y represents the age of the older brother.
Okay.
The first situation will be X plus Y equals 38.
I agree with you on that.
And from there, I make Y the subject, which is Y equals to 38 minus X.
That's okay.
And the question is saying that 4 years ago, that would be X minus 4 and Y minus 4.
Great.
The age of the older brother, so Y minus 4 will be, the age of the older brother was the square. So Y minus 4 is equal to X minus 4 all squared.
I like the way you put it, Aisha. Aisha, you are just fantastic. You are simply fantastic. Thank you very much for that. You are right. So, Aisha, let's continue solving it. By the way, where are you calling us from?
Half Asini.
Half Asini. Thank you so much for calling. By the way, how are you watching this show?
Fantastic.
Are you watching by television or by Facebook?
Television.
Oh, by television. Great, great, great. All right. Keep watching and let's solve it together. Now that we have this, what do we do? Thanks, Aisha. Now, what do? We just do our normal expansion and simplification. When we do, my right-hand side will give me qx squared minus 8x plus 16. And I can do all the mathematics gymnastics if you like. I make p the subject, so I have q squared minus 8q plus 16 plus 4. I end up with a quadratic equation. P equals q squared minus 8q plus 20, equation 2. Now, the rest of it is not really a challenge. The challenge is being able to get equation 2. Razana, welcome back.
Yes.
Yes, Razana, talk to me. What do you have?
Yeah, I had P minus 4 equals to Q minus 4 all bracket squared.
Great.
Yeah, but what I did is I expanded the bracket.
Yes.
And I had Q squared minus 8Q plus 16.
Yeah, you're right.
Okay, sir.
You're right. So all you now do is just group terms and all of that.
Okay.
And that part is not difficult. So if you watch on your screen, Razana and every other person, at the bottom of your screen, I have my second equation. I have, maybe a third actually. I have P equals Q squared minus 8Q plus 20. I'm going to do something. I don't want to have P and Q together. And since I don't want to do that, like what Aisha did, I'm going to make one of them the subject. So I have my two equations. 1 and 2. From equation 1, I'm going to make one of them the subject. Razana used x. I have p. P equals 38 minus q. What do I do with this? I will reintroduce it. I would substitute 3 in 2. If I do that, I will have 38 minus q because p is 38 minus q. And I group the terms again. This time around, I'll make one side 0 by transposing. That means I'll carry or I'll move 38. I want 38 to come to the right-hand side and negative q to also come to the right-hand side. To do that, I'll subtract 38, I'll add q. If I do that, I have 0 is equals to q squared minus 8q plus q plus 20 minus 38. If I clean it up, I have a fourth equation. Q squared minus 7q minus 18 equals 0. So I have a proper quadratic equation in one variable. Now, I'll solve it any way I want. I want to use factorization, completing of square, or the so-called almighty formula. Any one of them would work from this point. The real challenge is not this point. The challenge is getting the second equation. But let's finish this up. With this, I do my factorization, and I have q as negative 2 or 9. Now, I have found q, I need to find p. So I reintroduce q as negative 2 and 9 into any one of the equations. If I do that, I recall that p equals 38 minus q, so I reintroduce it there. So I have p as 40. So when q is negative 2, p is 40. When q is negative 2, p is 40. Or when q is 9, p is 29. So I have 4 answers. 2 p's and 2 q's. The q's are negative 2 and 9. The p's are 40 and 29. Which of them is the answer? Now, do you remember Dr. Essie Kaufman's advice? Dr. Elsie Kaufman's advice? She says, common sense. Do what? Check your answer. Now, a very quick check will tell you that negative 2 and 40 cannot be the answer. Why? Because you cannot have a negative age. Ages have to be positive. So negative 2, although negative 2 plus 40 will give us 38, which will satisfy the question, and if we did the other check, we probably will get it. But negative 2 cannot be an age. It means you have not been born at all. So our answer for this particular problem will be 9 and 29. So remember, the ages of two brothers is, the sum of their ages is 38. So let's add 9 plus 29. What do we get? Obviously 38. 4 years ago, how old was the younger brother? 4 years ago. It will be 9 minus 4, which will be 5. Hold that. How old will be the older brother? How old was he 4 years ago? 29 minus 4, 25. Do you realize that 25, which is the age of the older brother 4 years ago, is the square of his brother's age 4 years ago? 4 years ago, his younger brother was 5. If you squared 5, you get 25. So the problem has been satisfied. We have satisfied the problem. So our answer definitely is that the ages of the brothers are 9 and 29. Don't you love mathematics? It proves itself. All right. So it cannot be negative. Ages must never be negative. So when you're solving problems, you think along. Else, you will have answers that will be near ridiculous. Let's try another problem. This was the problem of the day. We sent it to you much earlier. It's a longish one. But we will surmount it, believe me. The question says, it's from June 2013, question number 6. It says, a company buys a car for 27,000 Ghana cedis and sells it to Mr. Fusu for 36,000 Ghana cedis after a discount of 10% on the marked price. Calculate. A, calculate. I, the marked price. II, percentage profit made by the company. There is a B part of the question, which is a full question by itself anyway. Remember, that's question 6, means that it carries more marks. It is not a compulsory question, so it carries as many as 12 marks. As much as 12 marks. If Mr. Fosu sells the car after covering a mileage of 128,000 kilometers, find the value of the car if the rate of depreciation is 0.03 Ghanaian cedis per kilometer, and the range of values for which Mr. Fosu could sell the car so that he does not lose more than 2,000 or gain more than 3,000 Ghanaian cedis on the depreciated value. It's a challenging question, I must admit, and you must have a grasp or grip of what you will call business mathematics, or properly put, application of percentages. To get this question right, you must understand what the marked price is. You must understand percentage profit. Even earlier, you should understand what discount is all about. Somewhere in the question, depreciation is mentioned. And finally, you have to find a range of values. Oh, I have Sharif. Sharif, you're welcome to the show. Good evening, Sharif.
Yeah.
Good evening, Sharif.
Yes, please. Good evening.
Sharif, where are you calling us from?
Please, I'm calling from
From?
Offenso, please.
Atonsu.
Offenso.
Great. How is Offenso today?
Oh, everything is going well.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
You're in a high school, I believe.
Yes, please.
What is the name of your school?
Please, Kumasi Academy.
Kumasi Academy. Kumaka.
Yes, please.
Great. Say me hi to your teachers and colleagues when you get to school. All right, so you want to say something to us, Sharif?
Yes, please.
Yeah.
I tried finding the max price.
Okay.
Yeah, so like I was taught this actually in JHS. So
okay.
The original, like they said, the original price or the max price is always 100%.
That's true.
Yeah. So the discount also was 10%.
Right.
So this implies the max price or the original price was 90%.
Great.
Yeah. So you just have to use ratio and proportion here.
You know, I like the way you put it, Sharif. You just have to use ratio and proportion. You make it so simple, and it is that simple. Sharif, I agree with you. By the way, are you watching by Facebook or by television?
Please, by television.
Great. So you just use ratio and proportion. Just that easy, right?
Yes, please. Very easy.
Very easy. It is easy if you know what discount is all about and what marked price is.
Yeah, that's true.
Great. Thank you, Sharif. So for viewers who probably have not touched that topic, Emmanuel, I'll say something to viewers, but Emmanuel, you're welcome to the show. Good evening, Emmanuel.
Okay, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, Emmanuel, you're welcome to the show.
Okay, sir. Hello?
Oh, Emmanuel, your line is breaking. I wish you could position yourself well and let's have a chat.
Yes, sir.
Hello, Emmanuel. Oh, Emmanuel is off. All right. So the marked price, and that is where the technicalities of the questions come. You need to have a grasp or a grip of the topic. The marked price is the original price of the thing. Like you go to the supermarket, that price tag on it is the marked price. When it is discounted, it means the value has been brought lower by a certain percentage, in our case, by 10%. And if it has been brought down by 10%, it means it is no longer its original 100%. It is 10% less than 100%. So that is 100 minus 10. Like Sharif said, that would be 90%. So if 100%, if 90% is this, then what we are looking for, 100% will be what? Yes, good evening, caller.
Good evening.
Who do I have on the line?
Asma.
Take that name again.
It's Asma.
Asna, beautiful name. Where are you calling us from?
From Damango.
Damango. You're welcome to the show. You are in what class, if I may ask?
Class
Yes. What form are you? What form?
2.
You are in Form 2.
Yeah.
Great, great, great. So, talk to me, Asuna. What do you want to say? I'm listening to you, Asuna.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Please go ahead. Oh no, Asna cannot hear me, although I can hear him. All right. So, what did the chief examiner have to say about this problem? What did he have to say? He said that candidates showed that they did not understand the concept of marked price of an item. That was in 2013, 8 years ago. They also misapplied the principles of depreciation, hence their inability to solve the question. So they did not understand the concept of marked price. They misapplied the concept of depreciation. And so, unfortunately, that year, those candidates got it wrong. Let's see if we'll get it right. So let's go. At a discount of 10%, 36,000 is 90% off the marked price, like Sharif pointed out. Yep.
Hello.
Esther, good evening.
Hello.
Good evening, Esther. Oh, Esther's line has dropped. Our lines are not doing us justice tonight. Esther, please try again. In other words, the marked price by ratio and proportion, like Sharif says, will be 100 divided by 90 times 360. And that will surely give us 40,000 Ghana cedis. In other words, the marked price was 40,000. When 10% was taken off, we ended up with 36,000. 10% of 40,000 is 4,000. So if we take 4,000 off 40,000. Yes, hello there.
Hello.
Good evening.
Please, evening.
Who do I have on the line?
I'm Ruth.
Ruth, you're welcome to the show. Where are you calling us from?
I'm from Hamley.
Hamley?
Yes.
Wow, how are you viewing this show? I mean, by television or by what means?
I'm using television.
Great. So, Ruth, talk to me now. You want to say something?
Okay, from when you were solving a certain question, I didn't get it well. So I want to say that you have to sometimes take your time and go.
Oh, sorry. My apologies. What question was that?
You were solving like the question. I didn't get it was that a brother 4 years ago and what.
Oh, really? Maybe, Ruth, you tuned in late. We took a whole lot of time solving that.
Okay.
Okay, so just a simple thing. The ages of the brothers added up to 38.
Yeah, that one. You had 8 somewhere. I didn't know where you had that 8.
No, we did not have 8. Our answers were 9 and 29. So we did not have an 8 as any of the answers.
Okay. I hear.
All right.
I want to say sometimes you have to repeat it. Where you repeat it.
I get you there. But are you following this one we are doing?
I'm following.
Great. So Ruth, forgive me for that. We'll take it a bit slower for your sake, okay?
I hear.
All right. So the marked price we have found to be 40,000. How did we get that? Ruth says to say to you that if it is 40,000, how did we get it? So I'll explain. Since it was discounted and sold for 36,000, it means 36,000 was not the original price. The original price must have been more than 36,000. And we were told by how much percent? Majid, good evening, you're welcome. Oh, Majid's line has dropped. All right, so we have 40,000 and 36,000, by the way, is 90%. So 100% must be more. And remember that thing, if more, lesser one divides. 100 divided by 90 times 36,000 gives us 40,000. All right, so we have solved the first part of that question. Now, let's go on. So what is the percentage profit? It is profit over the cost price times 100. So what was the profit? It was bought for 27,000, which was the cost price. It was sold for 36,000. So 36,000 minus 27,000 divided by the original cost, 27,000, times 100. That gives us 9,000 divided by 27,000 times 100%. If you strike out the zeros by dividing by 1,000, we have 9 on 27. 9 divided by itself is 1. 9 dividing 27 is 3. So we have 100 over 3. And that gives us 33 1/3%. If you prefer the fractions. If you want decimal, that will be 33.3333 recurring decimal percentage. Okay, so we've solved question 1. The second question. So look at it again. Profit percent is profit on cost price times 100. How do we get the profit? Selling price minus cost price. All right, so let's solve the second problem. The second part. The rate of depreciation was 0.03 Ghana cedis per kilometer. But Mr. Fosu had used the car and traveled 128,000 kilometers. For every 1 kilometer, the car lost a value of 3 pesos. So for 128,000 kilometers, it lost 3,840 Ghana cedis. So what is the value of the car? The value of the car is the original value minus the total depreciation. So 36,000 minus 3,840 gives us 32,160. The car depreciates in value, it loses value. So, and by how much? 3 pesos for every kilometer it was driven. It was driven for 128,000 kilometers. So in all, it loses 3,840 Ghana cedis. So the cost, 36,000 minus the value it lost, 32,160. All right. And so for the loss, if he must sell the car and not lose more than 2,000 Ghana cedis, what it will mean is that his selling price minus cost price must be 2,000 or better. In other words, he has to sell for 30,160 if he must not lose more than 2,000. So his loss, if he sells at 30,160, would not be more than 2,000. So 32,160 minus 2,000 gives us that. All right. If he must make a profit of not more than, do you remember? Not more than, not less than. Okay. So if he must make a profit of not more than 3,000, then we must add 3,000 to the 32,160 because profit is always an addition. So we would have 35,160. The question says, for what range of values should Mr. Fosu sell the car so that he doesn't make a loss of not more than 2,000 and he must not make a profit of more than 3,000 cedis? The range of values must be, he must sell between 30,160 and 35,160. In both situations, he would have made a loss of not more than 2,000 and he would have made a profit of not more than 3,000. Well, that is his range. And that is our answer for problem number 2 or 3 for the day. This was question 6, June 2013. I'll leave you with a question. I'll give you an idea how to deal with it. We will not have enough time to solve it. It says a pole 25 meters long placed against the wall such that its lower end is 7 meters from the foot of the wall on the same horizontal ground. If the upper end of the pole is pushed down by 2 meters, calculate to 2 significant figures how much further away from the wall the lower end will move. and B, the angle the pole now makes with the horizontal. That is our problem. I'll give you a few cues. Look at it. The pole is 25 meters long. It would not change. It's a fixed value. It is leaning against the wall. So there has to be a wall. In other words, there has to be a sketch. You have to visualize the pole leaning against the wall. And it's leaning against the wall, and its foot, the foot of the pole, is on the ground. So there will be a wall, there will be a ground, and there will be a pole. Since it is leaning and it's a wall, the basic assumption in math, unless you are told otherwise, is that the wall makes a right angle with the floor. And the question goes on to say, if the upper end of the pole is pushed down, so you have to imagine the pole being pushed down. I don't know how it will be pushed down, but something pushed it down. Or maybe it slid, whichever. That will be a downward movement. So the question now says, and it moved down by 2 meters from its topmost position. What happens? Well, the chief examiner had this to say. He said, this question was poorly answered by most of the candidates. They were unable to visualize the question and sketch the correct diagram, which will help them solve the problem. And that is what I have been bringing to your notice. I'll show you a quick diagram so that you know how it will look like. So you must have the wall and the ground. You must have the right angle, because the assumption is that it must make a right angle unless you are told otherwise. And then there will be the pole. That pole is 25 meters based on the question, and it's called AB. I called it AB. Well, there is a point C, which is where the ground meets the wall, and that is 7 meters from the bottom of the pole. Well, we have other bits of information, which is that the pole was pushed down. So you have them in dotted lines. And it was pushed down to a point I call A prime, B prime. And that gives us 2 meters from the top and a certain meter away from the ground, which we do not know. Now, this is about enough to help you solve the problem. You can't continue from here by, for example, using the Pythagoras' theorem. From the Pythagoras' theorem, you'll find out that AC squared plus 7 squared gives you 25 squared. And if you made one of them the subject, AC, you would have AC squared as 576. And AC will be the square root of that, which gives you 24. Well, we could proceed and say when it is pushed down, something happens. What happens? A prime C becomes 24 minus 2, which is 22. And we can use that to go ahead. So remember, now we have a new length below. It is 7 plus x. So 22 squared, which is our new height, vertical, plus squared, plus 7 plus x all squared equals 25. 25 doesn't change because the pole's height remains the same. Then you can do a lot of mathematics around it. And eventually, you would have x as approximately 4.9. I'll leave you to try this question out and finish it. We would not have enough time to go through it. But the question simply asks to find how far away now, further away from the wall, is the pole. From our answer you can see on your screen, it is 4.9 meters more. And then the other question is going to be asking us to find the angle between the ground and the pole. All too soon we come to the end of the show. It has been my pleasure enjoying your company. Thanks for all the calls that came through. Sorry for those of you who couldn't get through. I hope next time we have another opportunity. It has been done so, presenting to you word problems in mathematics. Remember pies. I hope to see you again next time, and I hope we have another fantastic mathematics experience. Have a very good evening, and please keep learning. Bye.